Welcome back, everybody, to part two of episode 118. It's time for the weekly hot tag topics. And I said we'd throw something out there about TNA, which this is so stupid, but it's funny enough to talk about. This
God
kid
damn it.
named Aidan Fradley, or Fradley, I'm not too sure, 12-year-old kid, carved TNA into his hair and apparently got like suspended or detention or something for it. And Dixie Carter's answer was to be like, hey, thanks for supporting us. We'll send you some merchandise.
This is tits and ass.
It's like, oh man, we can't afford to have any other kind of marketing out there except for kids in school.
They're
And
literally not pushing the right haircut.
well, you know what's funny is like, what if the people in on the school board were like, if you had like ECW or WWE or something like that, we'd be fine with it. But TNA, that's offensive. I don't know what you guys think about this. This is actually like really stupid if the school would do that. Apparently, it was like this is an offensive, could this causes a distraction kind of a thing. It's a fucking haircut. Let the kid have it, even if it is TNA, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, here's the ridiculous thing. I mean, you're talking about how it's because it was TNA and not because it was WWE, ECW. I don't think it made a difference. I think they knew what it was for because that day at school they had a class trip to go to a TNA event.
Oh, really?
Well,
Yeah.
that sucks.
That's
So this
even
was
more
all planned
stupid.
out there. So it makes absolutely no sense. They're going on a trip anyway. He's not even going to be in the school for maybe then the first couple periods.
Well, it was meant to be educational. It was going to show you about money management, and there was going to show a bad example.
That's actually kind of cool. Like, what kind of school takes you to a wrestling event?
Right. Maybe they got all the free tickets and they were like, screw it.
I have not liked the response that I've seen to this though. I went to the actual like where the story broke on whatever town it was in. I went to their local newspaper website and it showed a picture of the kid and his mom, and everyone's like, "Oh, of course this mom would have no problem going out with their kid looking like this. These both look like a bunch of crack addicts," and people are just making all these terrible comments. Like, come on, really? Is this like the worst thing? This kid is going to school just trying to show himself as a fan of something. God forbid the kid has something where he wants to express individualism or his dedication to something, even if it is something as stupid as TNA. I say good for him. It's not like he's going in there with like, I don't know, big fake boobs like Madonna style shit bouncing around. Like, look at these, look at these.
Right, where he doesn't have like a curse word in his hair, or how many people have shit carved into their heads that are like dollar signs and shit, and that's okay. But he
Yeah,
gets TNA in there. It's not even like it was
this
T and A, where it's like, oh, maybe he's doing it for tits and ass or something.
this is the type of shit that makes kids turn like fucking into rebels and stuff. Watch him in high school. He's going to be that fucking one with the outrageous hairdos and stuff.
You know what? Probably because it'll be a statement against it.
Hmm.
But if he was going on a trip, that really doesn't make any sense. That's like saying he had a T-shirt on that was like, I don't know, Velvet Sky, and they were like, oh, this is inappropriate or something like that.
I'd just like to point out that this is probably the most in-depth TNA conversation we've had, and it's about a kid's fucking haircut.
Right. Well, what do you think about this, Jerry? You haven't really chimed in yet.
I mean, what's TNA? In all seriousness, it's got a TNA haircut. You know, he's got some mad balls because if anyone knew what TNA was, I think or any of the kids in the school saw that. Oh man, you get an ass whooping.
Well, that's enough TNA talk. That's gonna be our noise whenever TNA pops up. It'll just be this groan of, "Oh my God, this hurts," and people are gonna think that we have like TNA tied to diarrhea or something like that, constipation. Let's move on to WWE stuff instead. Mark Crozer said that he's going to be performing the Wyatt Family theme at WrestleMania 30. I think this is going to be a little bit awkward. We were talking about this a little bit around where we were doing the Raw post show this week, and I think it was Payton had suggested what if they all in the band come out with the sheet masks on, and I think that would be actually pretty cool. If they just come out by themselves, though, that's going to seem really awkward because when the Wyatt Family comes out and they pass them, like CM Punk threw a little reference out there, like, "Hey, look at that Cult of Personality. That's my song. That's awesome." And Triple H has different stuff over the years and all that. I can't see the Wyatt Family like shaking hands with Mark Crozer or something. But the idea behind it's kind of cool. So, could be awesome. What do you think about that, though, Wago?
I say just put them on a different part of the arena or like an elevated stage or something where they're not really gonna intervene with each other, and then It's not awkward. That or you stick him in the sheep mask. Like I don't remember who suggested that not too long back, but that's probably the answer for it. Or you just tell Bray just to ignore the guy when he's coming out.
Gives him his sister Abigail instead at the end of the song. Peyton, thoughts?
I think this is awesome. I don't see any potential for awkwardness. First off, I think this is one of the best original band-based arrangements that WWE has used as a theme song in a long-ass time. The crowd is just getting really into it. You're starting to hear the bigger crowds doing the clap-alongs with it. If you go back to the NXT days, they clapped along, they swayed as the music was playing. People get really into it. So I think when you're packing an arena full of people, you drop those lights out and you have the band actually start jamming out together. As long as they keep it dark, they can't just put on lots of lights because they have a band on. Keep it subtle. Maybe have like one little bit underlighting the guys so it gives it that creepy atmosphere. And I think it'll be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. I think one of the things that WrestleMania has lost over the years was the outside influence. I know a lot of people hate that. They hate the celebrities and they hate whatever. I think it's great to have musical acts there more than anything else. I think that's a great way to append onto the show that you have, especially if you're having them involved with something like playing somebody to the ring. Then it's not taking time away or anything. It's just this extra awesome thing that you're getting at WrestleMania.
So you're saying we need more Kid Rock performances?
Well, no, because Kid Rock didn't really play anybody's theme song. He just played as a bunch of sluts danced their way down to the ring.
Maybe they could do with lighting, like just have a bunch of lanterns all over the place.
Oh, that would be awesome. If they got like those candles that you put onto a balloon and you just release into the air and they just like fly all through the arena.
Oh, that'd be cool. Drew, what do you think about this?
WrestleMania sucks. At least we got this thing to look forward to. So I'll give this hashtag GYVerified, and yeah, I think that's about it.
Let's talk about WWE films. They're going to be making 2 sequels: The Marine 4, starring The Miz and Summer Rae, and Jingle All the Way 2, starring Santino Marella and Larry the Cable Guy.
Woof.
Ugh. That's all I have to say. Wago?
No comment.
Peyton?
Jingle All the Way is legit my favorite Christmas movie of all time. That's the one that I pick up and I watch every single year. I love Arnold. I love Sinbad. This is going to be awful. Santino, I could almost buy going into it playing like the Sinbad role. Larry the Cable Guy, absolutely not. He is just going to make this absolutely unbearable. Another Marine film, whatever. What wasn't the Marine already in the third one? Or the Miz already in the third one?
Yeah,
So they're gonna use
it's
him for
going to be
2?
like a sequel to it, I guess.
They're not doing with anything with him on TV.
Well, he's told us.
Drew?
Yeah, give it a 4 out of 10.
WWE films is so awful. God, we
Yeah.
had a bigger discussion about a TNA haircut than we did their own film division.
Well,
Does
let's look
anybody
at-
even know that they have their reboot of Leprechaun coming out this month?
Does anyone
this
give a
month?
fuck?
It's just,
I do. I like Leprechaun.
They didn't do shit all to promote it.
well, you know, it's WWE. Why would they promote something like that? Come on.
Huh.
But now, who is like the biggest celebrity that they've gotten to be in one of these movies?
Who was that chick that was in The Call? Halle Berry?
Yeah,
would probably
Yeah,
be
definitely Halle Berry.
yeah. So that was half produced by WWE Films. The other half was another company. But I think, Larry the Cable Guy. I think they could bring in something. I mean, some people like Larry the Cable Guy.
I'm pretty sure the biggest person that they've had in WWE films is The Rock, actually.
The Rock. Yeah, don't count that.
Wasn't Larry the Cable Guy in the Tooth Fairy 2? Did they
Yes.
make a sequel to that about it?
Yes.
I
Yep.
don't know because I didn't see that movie, Tony.
Neither
Guess
did
what?
I, but I
Guess
can't
what?
imagine anybody saw Tooth Fairy 2.
Well, guess what? He wasn't Tooth Fairy too.
God,
see
and so
it,
it's
but I
got to
don't.
be like the same group of people that are like, all right, well, we already did something in the past. Let's just have him play the sequel part. Like, what's he gonna do? Like, take like all the reboots and the sequels that we're gonna be having in the future. Like, he's gonna be the next RoboCop instead of the dude that they have now. God, this is just a train wreck. I can't wait until WWE Films stops existing. Let's move on to a slightly better topic, although it might be equally as confusing. WWE is going to drop the Antonio part of Antonio Cesaro's name and potentially going to drop the Langston part of Big E Langston. So they're just going to be Cesaro and Big E. I don't quite understand the point in this. And the first thing that popped in my mind when I saw the Cesaro story was, are they just like thinking about Batista lately? And they're like, he has one name, let's just do that for some other people. I think
No.
Antonio Cesaro is a perfectly fine name, and Biggie Langston, what's wrong with that?
They obviously got this idea from Magnus. I think he's working out so well as the new face of TNA. They know they got to copy that model.
What do you think the reason behind this is, Peyton?
My guess is that they wanted to save money on printing costs, so they decided to take those parts of their names out. That's really the only logical explanation for this I can come up with.
Lego?
I think there was like, Antonio, that isn't really American. We could call him John, but no, we've already got a John Cena. Let's just fucking get rid of his first name. I don't know what the fucking did. It was retarded. The guy's being established as Antonio Cesaro already, and unless he's going to do some third-person shit like The Rock and call himself the Cesaro, it's pointless. As far as Biggie Langston, that might be the only one which I can get behind, because Langston is a horrible last name.
Drew?
I'm honestly fine with the dropping the Antonio, just calling him the Cesaro or Cesaro. I find that fine, and maybe it's because Cesaro's easier to pronounce if they're going to do chants, because he did beat Randy Orton on SmackDown, so hey, that says something. Don't know what it says, but it says something. But I kind of like Biggie Langston. I don't think they should mess with that, because Biggie Langston is clutch.
Well, that's going to sound a little bit more awkward, I think, if he just comes out and it's just like, it's Big E.
You know what's going to be awkward? When you have Jack Swagger and Cesaro.
Yeah, well, I don't think they're going to stick around too much longer.
Yeah, I know. I think they pretty much got their eyes set on him being a single star at this point. I'm thinking they might turn him face soon, the way they're going, at least with a name change. I'm definitely behind it, though. The push, just not the name change. I don't understand it. If they was going to change his name, I wouldn't mind him taking his Claudio name and calling him Claudio Cesaro or something. But I like guys having two names. It makes them seem like real people.
These aren't real people. They're over-the-top superstars. What are you talking about?
What? Wrestling is real? What?
One last hot tag to talk about. The CM Punk situation. Michael Cole, Jerry Lawler, and JBL, their microphones apparently went off before Raw started, and when fans started chanting for CM Punk, they were chanting to themselves, oh, just shut up, and this is going to die out soon. The report said, JBL said, oh, you can hardly hear any dedication behind the chant, and they were chanting, go away, to the crowd. I guess this leads a little bit more credibility to the idea that Punk actually did leave, and it's pissed off a lot of people, because so far, all that I've been reading, at the very least, has been very negative reactions about CM Punk from, the quote-unquote insider reports and everything like that. So maybe there is more truth to this idea that Punk left and he's going to kind of go down as like, oh, that little asshole left right before WrestleMania and screwed us over. I don't know. If people are having this kind of a reaction and they're mad at that, and they're not mad because it's like, oh, why are they booing Cena again or something, just mad at Punk, I don't know. That whole WrestleMania thing might really be in jeopardy. Wego?
I think this just concretes it as that it's a work. Their mics just coincidentally came on, and that coincidentally got picked up. We never get this type of footage released, and it just happens to be released when CM Punk's being let go. Yeah, it's too fucking convenient. It's a work. And I have it from inside sources that the anonymous WWE superstar is the delusional Ken Jones.
Drew, what do you think about the Punk chant situation?
Honestly, I don't know what to think about it, because I'm still up in the air about whether he actually leaving or not. So I'm just not gonna just pay attention to that. I'm just gonna forget I heard about this. I'm just gonna wait and see if he actually returns or not. I think that's the bigger story here. It shouldn't be a big deal that the announcers out of all the people are chanting something like this. I think it's pointless. It's not relevant at all. So I'm just gonna ignore this and just see what plays out from here.
Peyton?
I think that this is just a situation where they got caught with the microphones on. I mean, these type of production errors happen all the time on WWE TV. You'll see a random camera pointing to a part of the audience where it's normally not supposed to, or we'll see the back of the screen say Michael McGillicuddy while Christian is coming out. This shit just happens. I totally believe that they would just talk shit about the fans. I imagine these guys talk shit about the fans all the time when we don't hear it.
Oh, yeah. You got to imagine every once in a while you got to just get fed up with people and just go like, oh, these fucking idiots here or something like that. It's got to happen. I mean, you can't do it all the time, obviously, and I'm sure that they don't like hate the fans or anything. But
now this footage, this was from the Omaha show,
from this week's,
from this show in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Because even they weren't chanting a lot for Punk.
No, that's one of the things that was supposed to be like one of the stories behind it. It was before Raw started, and it was dying out even before like that caught on too much. And that's what JBL was saying. He was just like, this is going to die out soon. There's no real dedication behind it. But then there was also reports about midway through one of the matches that Seth Rollins had gotten on the mic and said something about CM Who, and they were chanting.
That was on the WWE app. You could watch that. That was
that's on the app too.
Oh. Yeah, that was on the app. Yeah, it's on W. You can find it online too. That whole Seth Rollins thing. He just got on the microphone and started screaming that, "Hey, this is Dean Ambrose in the ring. He's the United States champion, and pretty much pay attention to him." So again, that's just something else that makes me think this is a fucking work. Why would you put that on the app?
I don't know. That's kind of weird. Odd situation, but at least it's going to make Elimination Chamber seem pretty interesting. Because we all know that if he doesn't pop up the day after Elimination Chamber, Punk's not coming back for WrestleMania. They're not going to, not have anything to build up to, and then a week before WrestleMania go, oh, by the way, and he's going to fight Triple H or something like that. It's not going to happen. So,
and I'll tell you why they put that in the app. They probably weren't even thinking that this was something that was going to be on the app. Thing is, when they take these commercial breaks, they do as much as they can to either rile the crowd up in a negative manner or in a positive manner, whichever they want to come back from commercial break in. And that's what he was probably going. He was going for a reaction, and he knew that saying CM Punk was going to do something to get that reaction.
Yeah, it's a good insight for that. If you have any opinions on this, guys, make sure you send a comment below, and we're going to take a little bit of a break here and come back with your mailbag questions and call the spot on the card.